Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today in this video I'll be discussing about the intricate structures of the human eye. This won't be a technical educational video but just a casual attempt to help you understand the complex and interconnected structures of the human eye. The eye, technically speaking, is just an instrument that converts simple light into comprehensible image, and we'll just try to understand how it does so. The eye contains many parts, each part having something to contribute in the proper functioning and overall success of the entire eye. I'll first start with explaining the eye orbit that contains the eye. The orbit contains the eyeballs, ocular muscles, nerves. It's formed by several bones. It also contains the eyelids and the tear glands. The ocular muscles consist of six different muscles directing the movements of the eye. These are further divided into two other groups, namely the extraocular muscles and the intraocular muscles. The extraocular muscles control the movement of the eye externally, and intraocular muscles control the movement of the eye internally. The extraocular muscles are also the fastest muscles in the entire human body. Now, moving on to the eye, it starts with the cornea, the outermost layer of the eye, a transparent body which protects the eye from germs, dust, and other harmful materials. It filters damaging ultraviolet wavelengths coming from the sun, and it is the primary contributor in focusing the light on the retina. Light that refracts in cornea further passes through the pupil. The space between these two is filled with aqueous humor, which is a low viscous liquid that maintains pressure and helps in providing nutrition and immunity. The pupil is a hole. It contracts and dilates in order to let the necessary amount of light to enter for image formation. Too much light will make the image too bright, and too little light will make the image unclear and dark. In summary, it is the aperture of the eye. To adjust the amount of light that would be entering, the pupil is surrounded by the iris. The iris is a pigmented structure which surrounds and controls the pupil through sphincter and dilator muscles. Sphincter muscles help in contraction of the pupil. It means that when there is too much light, by contraction it makes the opening smaller to decrease the amount of light entering. Dilator muscles help in dilating or spreading out the pupil when there is little light in order to allow more light in and form a clearer, brighter image. This dilation also happens when you are excited or anxious. Your pupils tend to dilate more. Behind the iris sits the lens. The lens bends light to focus it on the retina. The lens becomes thicker to focus on nearby objects closer than 6 meters and thinner to focus on distant objects further away than 6 meters. The thinning and bulging are controlled by the ciliary muscles that contract and relax to change the shape of the lenses. The lens creates an inverted image on the retina, and then the brain flips the image back, making the image that you see. This image is then sensed by retina. Between the lens and the retina lies the vitreous humor. It accounts for almost two-thirds of the volume of the entire eye. It consists 99% of water and a small amount of collagen. The vitreous provides structural support and holds the retina in its place by exerting pressure against it. Now moving on to the retina, a viewer would never perceive an image if it wasn't for retina. It's the light processing center of the eye where light signals are transformed into neural signals. The retina is a highly specialized structure composed of several distinguishable layers, each playing a crucial role in the process of visual signal transduction. The outermost layer, namely the photoreceptor layer, is responsible for initial conversion of light into electrochemical signals. This layer contains two types of photoreceptors, rods and cones. Rods are sensitive to low light levels and are primarily responsible for vision in dim conditions, while cones are responsible for color vision and visual acuity under bright light conditions. Rods and cones transform photons of light into electrochemical signals. Rods are very sensitive to light and only transmit shades of gray. Cones produce fine and detailed colored photos. Cones contain three types of opsins that detect three colors: red, blue, and green. The brain combines the signals from these three cones to create the variety of colors that we can see with our eyes. For example, yellow is a color where red and green cones are being stimulated and the rest are not. Lights hit on the cones and a variety of colors are interpreted by the mixing of these three primary colors to form a distinct separate color.
These electrochemical signals are transmitted directly from rods and cones to ganglion cells by the help of bipolar cells. The ganglion cells are the last neurons in the retina. They pass down the signals that they receive from bipolar cells down their axons, which converge together to become the optic nerve, which travels all the way back to the brain where all the processing is done.
The eye, no doubt, is an ingenious invention coming from the help of evolutionary forces. Human eyes are just one of the versions of these ingenious designs. There are all sorts of designs in different organisms, varying in complexity and structure. There are organisms that can only sense light. These are primitive eye spots like that in a planaria. They cannot form images but can only gauge the intensity of the surrounding light. These primitive eye spots can also help in adjusting the circadian rhythms, a kind of internal clock that regulates biological processes based on the day and night cycle. As eyes are soft tissues and do not fossilize, we can only guess that these might be the first prototypes for eyes. There are also different kind of eyes in the animal kingdom. Insect and crustaceans primarily have compound eyes. These eyes consist of multiple individual lenses called ommatidia, as opposed to the camera style eye that we humans possess, with only one lens behind the cornea. There's also mirror type eye that uses a concave mirror for image formation. This type of eye is present in scallops. There are also many different adaptations of the eye honed under different circumstances. Sea urchins that can see with their entire bodies, sometimes called as one functional eye, they have photoreceptors at the end of their tube feet, which gives them a 360-degree view. Crocodiles have three eyelids, other than the two outer eyelids. Third is a translucent retracting membrane which protects and enables it to see underwater. Chameleon gets a 360-degree view because they are capable of moving their eyes independently of each other. Mantis shrimp can see both polarized and ultraviolet light. They have 12 to 16 visual pigments compared to the 3 found in humans. Dragonflies have compound eyes consisting of almost 30,000 ommatidia in each eye. Ommatidia, as discussed earlier, is an individual unit of the eye consisting of individual lenses. An image is formed by combining the images produced by these individual lenses. Eagles have eyes that are 8 times stronger than humans and can spot their prey from almost a distance of 3 kilometers. The four-eyed fish have eyes that are split in half horizontally. This lets them see above and below the waterline. Each has its own pupil and retina, allowing them to function separately.
And many more such adaptations are there in nature.
I'll conclude by saying what might be quite clear by now, that there isn't a final ultimate sort of form for these adaptations. The eye works the best if it suits the particular organism, helping it the best to navigate and adapt to its particular environment, making it able to exploit its particular niche. It works the best when it is tailored according to the specific needs of the organism itself. I'd like to thank you all for watching thus far, and I hope you learned something new from this video. I would like to know any crazy facts you know about the eye or any suggestions you like to make about this video. Until then, goodbye, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Thank you.